everybody, and welcome to the Stand-Up Student Showcase! My name's Aaron. Kristen and I in the back will be taking care of you all night, serving drinks, sugar in solid and liquid form. Last call will be the second to last performer. We have 7 tonight, so when that 6th person is winding up their set, that is when we will stop pouring beer. So come on back. Couple of things, restrooms, all access, all gender restroom there, men's and women's down the hall. This is a stand-up student showcase. This is a heckling-free zone. Please do not heckle. Yes, thank you. If you want to heckle, you can press your luck with Carl, but I wouldn't. He's been doing this a long time, and he will get you. Also, we are streaming. Hi, everybody on Zoom. Thanks for tuning in. By being here, you agree to be on Zoom and on YouTube forever, helping us earn 50 cents on the views. So if that troubles you, sorry. But stay, it's raining. Excellent. If you need anything, we're in the back. We'll help you out. Let's get this show on the road. You know him. You love him. Carl Wolfson, everybody.
Hey, thank you. Give Aaron a round of applause, everyone here at Comedy Club. Thanks for coming out. A rainy, depressing Sunday night, but, you know, wow, you answered that correctly. We're going to turn that depression into laughs tonight, aren't we? Right? We have a great show. This is my 3rd year teaching stand-up here, and I hate to say this in front of former students, but this is my favorite class I've had. And I say that every freaking showcase, so really take it for what it's worth. Kathy Cravat is here tonight. Give Kathy a round of applause. That's good. Pepper Higgins. It's Spencer Higgins, but...
Pepper's better.
See, that's Pepper heckling his own name. Lexi Woodland is with us tonight. Lexi also, unless they lied in class, they both work at Nike. Any Nike people here? Yeah, pretty much know what that bottom line is. Okay. Jethro Rosen here. Anyone heard it? Yeah, Jethro. The same guy yelling for everyone. He has no friends. Get with the program. Jethro is the youngest student I've had, 19 years old, and once in class, well, he didn't know who Oprah Winfrey was. And then he kind of got it, and he said, "Oh, that's the woman who tells middle-aged women what to read." So he knows. Stacy Melnick, give Stacy a round of applause. And then a couple of my students have been with me through 2 or 3 classes. Andrea Matthews is here tonight. Andrea's very funny. And Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, this has been a fun class, it really has. You're going to enjoy them tonight. I come to this teaching after, this is my 45th year of doing stand-up, more than 8,000 shows, and I placed my agent right in the front row.
Mike's the guy here.
Yeah, and I am reflective about it, and I'm nostalgic, actually. I was on Alan Thicke show, Alan Thicke the Night every week, back before many of you Nike people were born, and Alan passed away suddenly, and I was on Joan Rivers every month. Joan passed away suddenly. I kind of wish I'd been on The Apprentice, but let it out. We need to let it out. Let it out. Let it out. My husband and I are celebrating our 27th anniversary in December. I do all on numbers. I don't know how many that is in straight years. I don't know what the conversion is. I just know that after 27 years, the dinners aren't as sparkling as they were the first few months. Earlier this year, we're eating dinner, and Gary says to me, "Is there anything worse than hard butter?" And I'm thinking, genocide? I don't know. He is in better shape. He climbed Mount St. Helens, which was nice. Next day, I made it halfway up Mount Tabor. So my Sherpa quit. Come on. Have you tried to get a good Sherpa in Portland these days? Get that by the city council, for God's sake. The hardest thing with Gary was getting him many years ago past my fox-watching right-wing mother in Florida. That was fun. Yeah, we first went down there in '98, and we were eating dinner. She looks over and she goes, "Now, which one of you is gay?" And I'm like, "Okay, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought." Which she followed up with, "Well, we didn't have homosexuals in the 1950s." I said, "Well, somebody put the fins on those Cadillacs. Somebody did those beehive hairdos. Come on." We have a very good friend who's a lesbian, Jenny, and she also has a right-wing mother in Florida, and she had a similar story. She came out to her mom, she told her she was a lesbian, and her mother goes, "What's next, Jenny? Heroin?" Lesbianism, the gateway drug. Okay. Anyone from across the river in Washington? Do we have Washington? Oh, wow. Wow, what a sound to make with your ass, sir. It was like a Trump speech, completely, right out of the ass. I love Washingtonians because in 2012, on the same election day, these guys are my heroes in Washington. In the same election day in 2012, November, they legalized pot and gay marriage. Now that's cool, right? Come on. It's just teaching the rest of the 49 states that we were reading the Bible incorrectly. It said if a man sleeps with a man, he should be stoned. So, okay, you guys ready for a good show tonight? Yeah. We are going to have a great time. They say in sports, you play on Saturday or Sunday or whatever game day is, how you practice. And my students have spent the last 7-8 weeks practicing and doing really well. So you enjoy them tonight. First up, she's just terrific. Second class with me. I think she's a pro. Very funny. Please welcome Kathy Cravat, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy. Yeah.
Hi. Let's give it up for Carl. One thing he didn't tell you is that our grades are based on your laughter. Oh no. So I'm Kathy Cravat, and as you can see from literally everything about me, I am middle-aged. Yeah. And you know, I try to deal with it. I have the highlights, try to camouflage my gray hair. I wear this scarf to hide my accordion neck. And this long coat's supposed to make me look thinner, but I think it makes me look like Grandma Smurf. So even my computer knows how old I am. I saw my niece's TikTok, and she had an ad for birth control that lasts for 5 years. First of all, cool, but how come I didn't even know that existed? And I realized it's because of targeted ads. She gets an ad for birth control, I get one for a cure for gout. She gets an ad for tickets to Post Malone, whoever that is. I get one for a meetup for Mahjong. She gets an ad for mountain climbing equipment. I actually got one for a Rascal mobility scooter. That's just insulting. But it was a really good sale, so I got one. You can also tell how old I am by how much time I spend on Nextdoor. It's that social media network that lets you find out who among your neighbors is an asshole without actually having to talk to them. The worst thing is when one of your neighbors posts a photo from their Ring doorbell with the subject line, "suspicious mail," exclamation points. Yeah. So then you get to find out who among your neighbors is a racist asshole. And then your other neighbors chime in and thank them for being vigilant. and they spell vigilant wrong. So then you get to find out who among your neighbors is a racist and illiterate asshole. So for a living, I write murder mysteries. And, yeah, it keeps my husband on his toes. So I don't know when this started, if it was the way I was born or after I started writing mysteries, but if I see a beautiful beach, like rolling waves and sparkling water, the first thing that occurs to me is, those rocks would be a great place to find a dead body. Like cobblestone streets in Europe, those forsythia bushes would be a good place to find a dead body. I don't know, a hot tub, a Swiss chalet. That hot tub would be a great place for a gratuitous sex scene. So I have a personal trainer, and I'm not going to tell you her name because I don't think I'm a very good advertisement for her. And one time I was working out, and I realized that a personal trainer would be a great character to have a mystery series, because like she goes into houses, she has people in her classes, so she has a lot of opportunities to find dead bodies. So I told her that, and we laughed. And then, she had me do a lot of ab work. And I said, or maybe she should be the murder victim. And her laugh was a little uneasy. And then she tortured me with squats. So I'm here to tell you, in my next book, Claire Bryce, that's BRYC, is totally going down. So this writing gig's going okay, but I decided to try something new, stand-up, because I wanted to make even less money. And the most important thing I've learned about comedy is that you don't want to be friends with comedians. Because we're going to listen to you tell your heartfelt stories, something that has you crying into your pillow at night. And on the outside, we're going to be very caring and helpful. But on the inside, we are so excited to turn this into a joke. You kind of have to have a little bit of a mean streak to be a comedian. And I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just saying if you happen to have a mean streak, then comedy might be for you. Yeah. So we have to funnel those tendencies into socially acceptable behavior. Like Dexter. So I turned 50 12 years ago. And I just don't like this getting old stuff. And part of it's because you don't know what's going to happen. Like when I was pregnant, there was this great book. It's called What to Expect When You're Expecting. And it's just chapter by chapter, all the crazy shit that's going to happen to you during your pregnancy. I think we need a book, What to Expect When You Turn 50. And it's just chapter by chapter, the order in which your body parts will betray you. Chapter 1, ankles. Yeah. They're like the first to go. You wake up one morning and they hurt, and they're going to hurt for the rest of your life. Chapter 2, knees. Yeah, it's like they've seen all the attention your ankles are getting with the warm compresses and the cold compresses. And they say, hold my beer. I'm going to show her what real pain feels like. Chapter 3, memory. Chapter 3 is memory. So even though I'm this old, I'm still learning things about myself. I just found out that I have attention deficit disorder. And it explains a lot. Yeah. So my friend was diagnosed and had this book, and the first chapter was a quiz, so I took the quiz. And the first question was, how often do you have difficulty completing a project with complex tasks? And your answers could be rarely, sometimes, often. I had to create my own category, always. Always have trouble with that. How often do you have difficulty concentrating on what people are saying? Always. How often do you misplace your keys? I was like, hey, that's a bit specific. Did my kids write this one? Yeah, answers always. So I was like, oh my God, I have ADD. So instead of reading on in the book to learn techniques to deal with it, I put it down and started telling everybody I knew. I told my husband, and he wasn't surprised, but I don't remember what he said, because I have difficulty concentrating on what people are saying. I told my friends, and so many of them were like, oh, I do those things too. Maybe I have ADD. I was like, that's your own mental disorder. And I told my sister, and she said, no shit, Sherlock. Sisters, yeah. So it's not all bad if I leave a light on. Oh well, ADD. I mess up a recipe I've done 100 times. ADD. If I forget my sister's birthday, that's just payback. And the other good thing about ADD, and finding out I have ADD at my age, is that every day I get to play this fun game. Is it ADD or dementia? So I'm walking every morning, and the only problem is that you guys have a spider season here. It's like I get up very early in the morning and I go out, and there's a web that's been built overnight. It's huge, it's like a horror movie. And you're actually lucky if you see it. Yeah, I was taking the garbage out. I walked face first into this huge web. It was all over my head. I'm trying to get it off. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a spider flapping around in midair because it was attached to my hand. So I screamed and I scraped it off and I ran around to the front of the house. I was banging on the door for my husband to let me in. And sure enough, 2 hours later, there's a picture of me on Nextdoor. A suspicious woman. Thank you, Pastor Beth.
Clapping for that, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy. Clapping for that. My husband and I just got reported on Nextdoor. It's true. 2 people. Well, we bought a car that is not a good car to drive in Portland right now.
What kind of car is it?
Let me just say that it's a weird time in Portland when you could be out about your gay relationship, but in the closet about your Tesla. Our neighbor Andy calls us the sons of Elon. Yeah, we're the devils. All right. One more time for Kathy. Great stuff, Kathy. Who's your husband? Oh, great. What's your husband's name? What is it?
Lee.
Lee. On your toes, Lee. She did this really grisly murder stuff in class, which I wouldn't let her do in public. And I wouldn't say it was aimed at you, but on your toes, buddy. I talk about my mom. My mom, being a Republican, was an amazing woman in many ways. My parents divorced after 41 years. They just woke up one morning, check please. And some of you thinking that. All right. Tomorrow morning, sir. But the next year, when she was 63, she met the love of her life. She had 18 of her best years. So that's a cool story, right? Thanks. Then I'll tell the rest of it. She married, my stepfather was a Southern gentleman. He was from South Carolina. And he just had the Southern accent. And because I was a comedian and all over TV back in the day, if I called down there and Walt answered the phone, he would tell me one joke, the worst joke in the world, and hand the phone to my mother. I'd call up, hey, sport, hear about that duck, went into the drugstore and ordered a condom, and the druggist said, you want me to put this on your bill? Here's your mother. Went on for decades. Called the next week, word for word. Hey, sport, hear about that nun taking a bath? She hears a knock at the door, gets out of the tub naked, runs the door, says, who is it? She hears a voice, it's the blind man. Says, oh, opens up the door, guy comes in, says, nice tits, where you want these blinds? Here's your mother. I think this is the best one he ever told me. Hey, sport, name the 3 most famous people shot in the back of the head. Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, and the guy sitting in front of Pee Wee Herman in the theater. Here's your mother. I did that on a Showtime special. He was like signing autographs and shit, you know. He wouldn't talk to me. He was a star. All right, great. Are you ready for Pepper? A groundswell. You know, he's been great, and I just love his material and his attitude as well. Known as Spencer, but tonight, Pepper Higgins, ladies and gentlemen. Bring him up. Pepper! Oh! Thank you. Pepper, keep it going on the stage, Pepper.
Man, it's bright up here. Well, yeah. Hey, everyone. For everyone in the class, I'm Pepper, but everyone else knows me as Spencer. Yeah, I moved to Portland in 2019, so I've been here about 5 years now. I'm originally from Southern California, this town called Redondo Beach. And yeah, in some way, I grew up there, went to school over there, and in some ways, I still feel like I haven't quite adjusted to living out here. For one, my directions are awful. I still have to put in every single address to Google Maps because one wrong turn here and you're on the other side of the river. I still don't know the names of any of the bridges here. Like somebody will be like, oh, just go over the Broadway Bridge, and it's like, that means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just gonna use the maps. It always confused me too when people would like mention the Steel Bridge, because I was like, I mean, yeah, like every bridge is made of steel, like, not helpful. And then cardinal directions. I can't tell you which way is west because there's no ocean to reference, so I kind of feel like I just got dropped off here sometimes. But yeah, there's a lot of differences between Portland and Redondo Beach. For one, there's like the beach versus the coast, that whole dynamic. I remember when I first moved out here, I'd be like, oh, like we should go out to the beach, and nobody like corrects you, but they'll always be like, oh yeah, we can go to the coast. Like, it's like no one calls it the beach here. So yeah, that was an interesting one. The other thing too is like where I'm from, you normally say like which beach you're going to. You're like, oh, I'm going to Redondo, Hermosa, Manhattan. Here people are just like, oh, we're just going out to the coast this weekend. Like there's not like hundreds of miles of coast that you could be referencing. And then you ask them to be like a little more specific, oh, like where? And they're like, oh, the southern coast. Like, it's like, all right, I have no clue. You could be going to Cannon Beach, San Juan Islands, I don't know. And then the vibes are pretty different too. I feel like the like Southern California beaches are more like the like Corona Find Your Beach commercials. You got like your flip-flops, your beach chair, your board shorts. Here it's more like a Patagonia commercial kind of thing. You can't bring flip-flops because like with my friends I found that before you can even touch the sand, there's like a required 5-mile hike you have to go on. So yeah, that's one. The other part, I mean, the obvious one's the weather. Like, it's pouring out rain here, and I feel like for as long as I lived in Southern California, we were in a drought. But here, like, it's going to be raining till May. The one thing that's really handy in the rain is an umbrella. I have this like cute little umbrella here with little snails on it. I'm not going to open it because I feel like I'm going to have trouble closing it in front of all of you, but it's really cute, but everyone here seems to hate it. People in the city have like, who are from here, have collectively decided umbrellas should have no place in our society. It's kind of like you open it up and it's like the scarlet letter. People are like immediately like, oh, you're not from here, are you? Or like, the people that do know you are like, oh, Mr. California. And he'll be like standing there perfectly dry under your umbrella, just doing its job. And they're like trying to explain to you why you should use a raincoat instead while it's just dripping all over them. I'm like, well, what's the alternative? They're like, just layer up. Like, I'm not already in like 3 layers. So yeah, that's been an interesting part. The one other thing is the ice cream establishments here. We're playing 2 very different games between Redondo Beach and Portland when it comes to the ice cream. And Portland's definitely winning. I feel like when in Southern California, if you walk into an ice cream shop, it's like pretty straightforward. It's like you got your vanilla, your chocolate, your strawberry. If they're feeling wild, you might have a rocky road here. And they always have their 2 sample maximum sign too, which is really just 1 because after the first they kind of give you the death stare, like don't push it. Here, you go to like Salt and Straw and it's like you are embracing standing in that line out the door. Like you're reading the pamphlet, you're looking at the flavors, trying to figure out what ice cream journey you're gonna go on today. You like say they all look really cool, but you don't really know what they all actually are. And it's like, no, they don't have vanilla. It's like double fold vanilla. Not cookie dough, but like salted malted chocolate chip cookie dough. There's like nothing straightforward about it. And even like the seasonal flavors, they got like last month they had the creepy crawly critters, which is actually made of bugs, which is wild. Probably locally sourced though. Yeah, like no one asked you to make Halloween in an ice cream, but here we are, but I'm here for it. And then 2 sample maximum? No, it's like a 2 sample minimum here. They even have the little like return chutes for all your samples. It's like if you only ask for like 1 or 2, they're kind of like, oh, you don't want to try like the other ones? So yeah, it's great. I love the ice cream scene here. The one thing that has bothered me is like every time I go home now, they opened up a Salt and Straw where I'm from, and my friends will be like, oh, have you heard of Salt and Straw? And I'm like, yes, like it's originated where I'm from. I didn't say that, but then they'll be like, yeah, it's this trendy little LA ice cream shop that they open up, and that's when I become the Portland resident. I'm like, no, you can have the weather, the beach, but you can't claim our ice cream. So yeah, and it's like I live like 15 minutes from Salt and Straw, and I walk every single time because I'll pay the $10 for ice cream, but the $1 for street parking is where I draw the line. But yeah, I love Portland. It's been great. Met a lot of good friends, but it was definitely like a rocky start. I bought a brand new car the first week I moved here, and 3 days later it got stolen. Yeah, it's actually, though, looking back on it, it's a funny story. I had the movers come. I was moving to my new apartment, and they introduced themselves. Everything was going as planned, and then this third guy just shows up. I didn't really think anything of it, but there were probably a few red flags I should have noticed. For one, he introduced himself. He said he was a mover, but he also introduced himself to the movers in front of me, which I thought it was like a flight attendant kind of situation where every flight they have a new flight crew, so they are always introducing themselves. So I think I get the moving industry probably a little too much credit on that one. The other one was they were all wearing their uniforms. He showed up and he had holes in his jeans, this battered shirt, and I just took that as oh, he's probably the most tenured one. He's the hardest worker. Might even be the manager. You know how restaurants, they're all in the uniform, the manager wears the polo? I kind of thought it was that situation. And then he was also doing a lot of delegating too. Wasn't helping him at all move the heavy stuff, but he really wanted to unbox my PS5. So yeah, so he was there for about an hour before I started getting a little suspicious. He went over to my roommate's stuff, and my roommate had these brand new white Nike Blazers with a pink swoosh on it. And he picks it up, like, and he's like holding it like it's like a exhibit in a museum. And I was like, hey, like those aren't mine. You can put them away. And then he just bolts. So I chased him to the stairs, and then I realized that I'm a lover, not a fighter. Like, what am I gonna do if I catch up with this guy? Like, sir, can I please have my stuff back? So I called it a wash. I was like, I'll just buy my roommate a new pair of shoes. It's like, sorry. But then like half hour later, I needed to get something from my car, and I couldn't find my car keys anywhere. And I swore I had left them on the counter, and then I kind of realized, like, shoot, did you take my car keys? Went downstairs and my car was gone. So fears realized, and I mean, now that I'm a little bit removed from it, like, can we acknowledge what an amazing feat this man pulled off? Like, somehow in this 600 square foot apartment, he convinced me that he was a mover, and my movers that he was my roommate. That's what they thought. So, yeah, they never caught him, but they probably should have. He could have done some like serious undercover ops. That was like some James Bond stuff. But that's also kind of like, there's also the big difference between how people treat a stolen car in Redondo Beach versus here. Like when I told all my friends and family back at home, they thought it was like a CSI episode. They're like, did they get fingerprints? Did the detectives come? Like, are they on the manhunt for this guy? And then here it's like, you call the police, they're like, oh, like, we got like 8 other things. We'll be there in 7 hours to take a police report. And then my friends somehow like turned it on me, like, oh, well, like, did you leave something in the car? Like, why did you leave your keys out? Like, it was my fault. They did end up finding the car, luckily. It got towed, and when I went to get it, it was like moving day for him too. He got really settled in the trunk of my car. There's a nice fort, a lot of trash everywhere. He must have really liked powdered donuts. There's this white powdery substance everywhere. Yeah, so I said, like, where did you guys find the car? And they said, oh, it was out by the coast, which really means it could have been anywhere. I don't know where it was. But yeah, so just to sum it up, I've loved Portland. I mean, yeah, nobody's gonna lend you an umbrella. Your car might get stolen, but you'll meet some pretty good people and get some good ice cream out of it too. Thank you.
Pepper Higgins, ladies and gentlemen. That's keep it going for Pepper. That was really something. Wow. Good?
That was good.
This is Calvin. And this is Michael, Andrea, and Mark. And they've been in numerous classes, so I kind of think you're the jury up here. Thumbs up? All good? I love Portland. Gary and I have been here since 23 years. We love it. You love Portland? Portland's great. Yeah. Okay, evidently not. All right. Yeah. Such diversity here. All kinds of white people. It's like, I love, not as much. I lived in LA for 22 years doing TV and all that stuff, and LA is much more diverse. But my favorite thing is to watch comedy unfold in front of your eyes, and that's what I tell my students. Now that you're taking the class, your antenna are up for comedy. Our dry cleaner, Mrs. Lee, is from Korea. Doesn't speak much English, but very funny. A couple of years ago, I took in jeans and to be washed or dry cleaned, and you have to point out the stains. There was a little red stain right here, and she goes, "Is it the lipstick?" Yes, it is. We went to a Beavers game. Anybody remember when the Beavers played? Yeah. I love baseball, so we went to the Beavers game. It was typically Portland, though. They brought a group of Native Americans in to sing the national anthem in their native language, and they got the words mixed up, and the game was rained out. But it was... You hadn't heard that before? Oh, all true. All right, are you ready for more Nike comedy, ladies and gentlemen? We not only have Pepper Higgins, we have his comedy co-conspirator coming to the stage now, and she's fantastic too. Please welcome Lexi Woodland, ladies and gentlemen. Lexi!
It is really bright. Okay. Hi, friends and foes and others. Thank you all for coming. Very excited to be here. My name is Lexi, and I grew up in the South of Portland, Tualatin. Obviously, not the real South, but my parents had a Trump flag in the yard, and I couldn't eat a Cheez-It without praying over it, so I never really felt like I fit in with Portland people culturally. Like, while most Portland families spend their Sundays relaxing, my family went to church and did chores like the good Lord told us to. And I grew up with a very healthy fear of the Lord, or what you secular folk call anxiety. And it showed up in some weird ways. Like when I was 10, I wasn't scared of the dark or monsters like my friends. No. I was scared and 100% convinced that I was the reincarnation of the Virgin Mary, put on this earth to birth the second coming of Christ. Lexi's version. And that is what you secular folk would call narcissism. So I obviously need therapy. But I've been having trouble securing a therapist. I found the whole thing to be a lot like dating. First, I scour the internet for my perfect match. Second, I settle with the most convenient option. And third, I get rejected. So my most recent rejection came on the first date, appointment. The therapist spent a whole 5 minutes with me over Zoom before saying, I think you need to see a specialist. It took me a sec. Then I was like, she doesn't want to see me again. But she's trying to let me down easy. And then I was like, but wait, what type of specialist? Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, that's why I'm here. And she says, I'm not sure, but as a first step, I think we should get you tested for autism. All I could think to say was, don't you know I'm carrying the Son of God? You are not just making fun of me. You're rejecting him. And to be honest with you guys, that was not the first time I've been rejected by a therapist, actually. And it likely won't be the last. So now I'm looking for a therapist that specializes in getting rejected by other therapists. And autism, maybe. I really don't know what to think about the whole possibly finding out that I'm on the spectrum at age 27 thing. But the first assessment went really well. They said no neurotypical person has ever scored as high as me. And then I was talking to a friend about it, and she was saying that her friend Maddie went through something similar recently. She said that her friend Maddie was told that she should get tested for autism. But once she went through that whole process, instead of learning that she was autistic, she was declared a genius. So there could be a genius on this stage right now. Speaking of geniuses, my parents thought it would be a great idea to get me a therapy pig, Posey. And I fear that when some of you hear pig, you're picturing Posey living in a barn. No. Posey lives in the house, like the rest of the family. She has a bedroom, probably more decorated than many of yours. And she's very smart. Pigs are like really smart. It basically goes pigs, humans, dogs, rats, humans who honk in tunnels. Now, part of what makes pigs so smart is their emotional intelligence. Exactly what the tunnel honkers are missing. So Posey can really sense the emotions of others. It's beautiful. Like when my grandparents come over for dinner. and Posey sees the fear in my grandma's eyes of the 200-pound pig in the dining room who's known to bite. So that is who Posey chooses as her victim. She can tell the most vulnerable person in any room, like a serial killer. So once she has her victim, she chooses her path. Posey looks across the dining room to my grandmother. The dining room is hard wood, but in the middle of the room, there's a table on a rug, and this is key. Posey knows that her hooves don't get traction on hard wood. They slip around. Posey knows that her speed and her power will come from that rug. So she lines herself up. She looks across to my grandma, and she takes off, slipping around at first. But once she hits that rug, it's like she has the star boost on Mario Kart, and it's game over for grandma. And then my grandma got bit. She's fine now. Don't worry. Just got sent to her room for timeout. Thank you.
Lexi Woodland, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Posey. I wanted her to bring Posey. Did you bring Posey tonight? Now see, Pepper, you are from California. If that act were on a comedy stage in Hollywood, there would be a producer right now doing a show about a serial killing pig. Right? We would see it. One more time for Lexi. Now, fact. Here's a little Hollywood trivia. Most animals in TV and film are female. Posey's a female, right?
Yes.
Okay. Posey could be on TV. There's a reason why. Does anyone know why?
Dicks.
What? Dicks? Well, that's the reason for most things. At least in my world. But, no, that's right. Most animals in TV and film are female. They don't want the thing on the screen. Think about it. King Kong climbing the Empire State Building. You didn't see that. That would have reached Jersey. Come on. If that were true, you could hold onto the building and still knock the planes out of the air. One more time for Lexi Woodland, ladies. Good stuff, Lexi. I'm still not sure what Lexi and Pepper do at Nike. I know a lot of Nike employees. Not one of them can tell me what they do. I know wives and husbands and partners of Nike employees who have no clue what their partners or husbands or wives do over there. But I know those two did great comedy. Good for them. Thank you. By the way, PortlandComedy.com. We've got the new classes starting mid-January. If you want to sign up, PortlandComedy.com. Coming to the stage now, the aforementioned youngest student I've ever had. He's just terrific. You're going to love him. Please welcome Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Jethro!
All right. Well, so do any of you guys have a prison uncle, or is that just me? Allow me to explain. So a prison uncle is not an uncle that has gone to prison, but someone that your parent has met in prison and then decided to be friends with outside of prison. And, you know, they'll teach you the really important things in life, like exactly what an eighth of weed should feel like in your hand, how to properly roll a blunt. What else? Oh, I have a good story. So, me and my prison uncle, he was driving me to school. Well, not to school, but to the bus stop downtown, so I could take that to school. And as we get up to the bus stop, we see the bus start, leaving the stop. We were late. And so I get out of the car and I start running down the street chasing after it. My prison uncle gets out of the car, he starts running down the street chasing after it too. And as the bus rounds the corner, I turn around and I see him go, "Ha-ha! You've just been fucked by the city of Portland. The city of Portland has fucked you, young man." And now, amazing catchphrases weren't the only thing prison uncles would do. They would also give full-blown physics lectures fueled by public library textbooks and, oh, so much meth. Oh my God. I don't know about you guys, but I would have paid so much more attention in school if my teacher was on meth every day, just bright and early, 8 a.m. All right, kids, look at me, listen. We're learning about fucking Einstein. You see him, he's got hair, he did like time and book. You fucking smelled that shit? What the fuck is that? You smell like a bitch. What's 2 plus 2? Don't answer that. What's lithium? Don't answer that. No? Good, because I'm not fucking taking it. All right. All right. So I'm at this weird kind of point in my life where my childhood is over, but adulthood hasn't quite started yet. I like to call it the weird little in-between years. And, you know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like purgatory, but I don't get any of the perks of being dead. And, you know, there's not a lot to talk about when you're 19. So me and my friends have some pretty weird conversations, to say the least. A really predominant one for a while was, what is the minimum amount of money you would take to suck a dick? And, you know, while everyone's throwing out numbers and stuff, like 100,000, 50,000, stuff like that, I'm sitting there thinking, at some point, it's just a financially irresponsible decision. Because, and especially at our age, that number drops drastically. Like $250, I mean, oh, you know how much fucking vapes that can buy? That can support my nicotine addiction for at least a few weeks, okay? Now, I've been a proud sponsor of Chinese nicotine devices for roughly 8 years now. All it took was one trip to the bathroom in the 8th grade, and they got me, all right? I'm stuck. But I feel like we need to talk about the flavors a little bit, because they seem to be getting out of hand. I mean, sour watermelon drop, what the fuck is that? I can only assume that's what unicorn pussy tastes like. And I saw one that was called Sour Blue Dust. We have reached a point in time where blue is a fucking flavor. Blue is a fucking flavor! You've been fucked by the city of Portland. Have a good night.
That's like Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. That was like a nightly HR lecture, wasn't it? I guess you guys got points for that, really. One more time for Jethro. Oh, shocked white people. All right. Jethro, you didn't go on the road. I luckily don't go on the road anymore, which is nice. I've been to all 50 states, 500 cities, and I play places like Richland, Washington, which the antithesis of Portland. I was doing dog and cat material there. Someone in the backyard, she had a lab. I said, what kind? She said, meth. And again, a public school teacher in Richland. And the South is, anyone from the Deep South? That's a, you guys are just mute on the answers, aren't you? No, please go on with your material, sir. We are afraid to interact, especially after the last one. All right. Jesus. I had to go to these places. They're frightening. I was in Pamplona, Alabama for the running of the Rednecks, and I was gored by their sharp intellect, I have to tell you. Which joke did you just get? That was good. They're kicking in. All right. Yeah, Arkansas is about the worst, though. You see shit in Arkansas you will not see in the other 49. I saw a 12-year-old girl smoking in Arkansas right in front of her children. It was... All right. Are you ready for our next act? He's hilarious. Why do I ask you people questions? Have I not learned? I don't see sign language, I don't see recognition, nothing. You all should definitely take my course. All right. Oh, sign up, it's mandatory now. Please welcome a very funny man, Stacy Melnick, ladies and gentlemen. Stacy's great. Bring him out! Stacy!
Thank you, Hey! Yeah, it's so exciting to be here. This is great. As you probably already noticed, I am older than the last few comics. I'm 51 years old. Thank you. To give you a frame of reference of what that means in dog years, I'd be dead. Yeah, I joke. I talk about being old, but truthfully, I know 51 isn't that old. I just read an article that they think the first person to live to be 140 years old is alive today. Yeah, I'd like to meet him and punch him in the face. As you get older, you start to see your doctor more often. And I actually had a really bad experience with my doctor recently. He completely dismissed me when I told him I thought I was being a hypochondriac. And he said, "Stacy, you're not crazy." And I thought to myself, who's going to be a better judge of whether I'm crazy, this guy or the ghost of Elvis that talks to me through my ficus plant? I know it's a cliche, but kids today, they have it easy compared to us. I mean, I remember being a kid, and if I wanted to see naked people, I had to set my alarm for 3 a.m., sneak downstairs, turn the TV on with the volume all the way low, and hope I got to see something before my mom caught me. Nowadays, kids just say, "Siri, show me boobs." But other people had it worse than me growing up. I knew people that didn't have cable. They were forced to see naked people in the library reading National Geographic. I was talking to one friend I went to high school with. He says that he still gets a hard on any time he hears the soundtrack to Black Panther. And the streaming services, I like the streaming services. They have those parental guidelines up before the shows. And sometimes they'll say nudity, and like the 13-year-old in me perks up, It's kind of nostalgic. Sometimes it says graphic nudity. That's when I pour myself some scotch and get ready to enjoy myself. But I've noticed that sometimes they're lying to me. Sometimes they say there's going to be nudity, and there isn't, and I'm really looking for it. I mean, there's nothing at all. That's when the 13-year-old in me gets sad. And I say, "Siri, show me boobs." I stopped working this year. I'm a nurse practitioner, but it's a second career for me. I just never felt passionate about like I did about my first career, I mean, helping sick people is nice and all, but it just doesn't compare to the joy one feels from building computer software to help financially wealthy people avoid paying taxes. But being a nurse practitioner was rewarding. I do kind of miss it, because I was actually going to people's homes. I was going to people who were old and very sick or had dementia and couldn't get out to see their doctor and helping to take care of them in their homes. And that was really nice because it was so easy to steal from them. So now I have a lot of free time, and I spend it doing what I love, anonymously correcting people on the internet. I'm happy to say I've been banned from the Republican Party subreddit, the Democratic Party subreddit, and the Ask Matt subreddit. The last one isn't my fault, though. People need to stop asking why they can't divide by 0. You just can't already. Has anyone here done like genetic testing before? I don't mean the Maury Povich, who's your daddy kind. I'm talking about like where you're from, like 23andMe. I was always curious about it, so because like I kind of was curious what it would say about me. You know, like I really like pasta. Maybe I'm Italian. I like to ski. Maybe I'm Swiss. Sometimes I'm an obnoxious asshole that doesn't know how to run a social media platform. Maybe I'm related to Elon Musk. So I was really excited about this, you know. So I took a sample and I mailed it in. I waited 4 weeks. I got an email that was ready. I clicked on the link. I went to the tab, and that's when I found out that I'm a Jew. 100% Jew. I'm a goddamn purebred. I'm like one of those stupid little dogs that can't breathe right. And the irony is that the only thing Jewish about me is that the end of my schmeckel's been cut off. So if there are any older people that would like Jewish grandchildren, I'm available for stud services. This is the part where I use the prop. Very exciting. I'm the only one using this. I need my hands for this. Oh, we got it. There we go. We're all set. We're ready. So, yeah, Teslas. I never really was a big fan of them before. I never really went in for the hype. I thought they were overrated. But then something happened to me recently that completely changed my mind. I was driving down the street, and the lanes were merging. I had to merge over to the left. And I looked at my rearview mirror, and the person behind me was driving a Tesla. I'm watching her, and the thing you need to know about the Teslas, I'm sure you know, but Teslas have a self-driving feature, which I think is amazing. I love this, because this woman, because Teslas have a self-driving feature, she was actually able to take her hands off of the wheel and give me the double finger while she's driving. Doesn't this look great? Don't you want to be able to do this? I mean, just think about the possibilities. You can fully express yourself while still safely driving. Someone forgets to use a turn signal, give them the double finger. Someone's driving too slow, give them the double finger. Someone tries to divide by zero, give them the double finger. And Tesla's missing out on a great advertising campaign too. You know? Buy a Tesla. Because some people don't know you're an asshole. I want to take a second. This is kind of the end of my act. I really want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. You guys are great. I mean, seriously. You know, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. I mean, it's actually pretty scary doing this. I'm sure you can imagine, you know, because I promise you, all of us are thinking the same thing. We're all scared. We're all worried about how we compare to everyone else, whether or not our jokes will be funny, whether or not we'll be as funny as everyone else. And you know, I'm no different, but you know how I got over that because I knew, compared to everyone else, I knew in my heart that I would have the largest prostate. Thank you, everyone.
Stacey Melvin, funny. Oh, good. Give it up for Stacey. That's really good. You know, my husband Gary's mother's Jewish and my father's Jewish. So together we're one Jew. And, well, that's what we've been told. Hey, you half Jew, and you half Jew, you Jew! No, but about 5 years ago, we did the 23andMe, and it was pretty funny because I'm 48.7% Ashkenazi Jewish, and Gary is 51.3. Oh. Exactly 100%. So the joke is real. So don't fuck around with this comedy stuff, is what I'm saying. Actually, Trump has his own DNA thing. It's called me. You send in your swab, he sends you information about himself, which is 100% asshole, basically. One more time for Stacey. Everybody on the show. I'm very depressed about the election, maybe you are too, but I decided some years ago to just put my efforts into good things, things that nurture and make other people happy, and you'll be happy. For the last 5 years, I've been teaching comedy and caregiving, and I was interested because Stacy, you were a nurse practitioner for older people, right?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. The Jews, they move so quickly. I can only move half that fast. Oh my God! You have to pay for this, Wisdom. $2.75 for the quarter. Yeah, I've been caregiving for elderly people for 5 years, and I've had a woman, Patty, for 5 years, and it's really rewarding. And it also, I get a lot of material because old people just have no filter whatsoever. The second week I was at her subsidized apartment, she said she told everyone, all of her friends, she had a male caregiver. I said, well, that's nice. And she said they wanted to know if you were handsome. I said, well, what do you say? She goes, who got the pills mixed up that night? Yeah. Also trying to lose weight, which is a constant struggle. I gave up fast food, though. Give it up for me. I gave up fast food. That's really good. 6 months ago, I went to Burger King, and I remember, it was the last time I went there. I ordered a burger. The woman behind the counter gave me the burger. Then she said to me, would you like to contribute to cancer research? So I gave her back the burger. All right, are you ready for more comedy? Like, we have two more performance days. Stacy kills me, man. She is just terrific. I love her. She does a different style, and I'm all into people having different styles. Please welcome Andrea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea!
Hi, I'm Andrea Matthews, and I'm just a jealous person. I'm really jealous of my dad, Dale Matthews. He's just such a fun person. He's so spontaneous, and he does tango, and he's speaking Spanish. He's getting super good at Duolingo. He lives in Texas, and his entire circle of friends is Republicans, and he's the only Democrat. And they love him. They just love him. How does he get away with this? I'm just so jealous. Yeah, he gives to charity. You know, I think one reason is that when you're with him, it's like you're the only person in the room. People just love him. And because of that, he can get away with just, maybe not showing up sometimes. Like, he doesn't always let you know if he's going to be there. Or he might say he's coming and he doesn't. For example, we have a weekly Zoom call with the family. It's me, myself, my sisters, my mom, and maybe my dad. Maybe. And we spend half the time talking about whether my dad is coming. Do you think Dad's coming? Did anybody talk to Dad? I sure hope Dad's coming. Wouldn't it be great if Dad was coming? Just so jealous. If I did that, I think people might think I was dead. I'm just so reliable. If I say I'm going to be there, I am, you can always count on me. I'm like a doorknob. You can always count on a doorknob to open and close. Some of them are really pretty, too. Doorknobs are pretty. Gosh. They're always there for you. Yeah, they're so reliable. Should really appreciate doorknobs more. So yeah, holidays are coming up and everything, and we still don't know if my dad's coming or not. Yeah, but if he does come, it's gonna be awesome. Like one time, he came on December 26th, but he brought this amazing game, this white elephant gift exchange. It was awesome, man. It was like, he brought all his old electronics and wrapped them all up for us. And we were all so excited. It's like, yes! He brought like his old Texas Instruments calculators, Walkmans, Discmans, 8-track tapes, headsets, heart monitors, dictaphones. Yeah, I got an awesome headset and an awesome dictaphone. I still have those. Ah, so jealous, man. I could do something like that, right? I still have like all these great CDs, like Alanis Morissette. Right? Yes, I'm cool. I got my Madonna CDs. Come on. Yeah, I got my Natalie Merchant, my Indigo Girls. Come on. I'm gonna have a white elephant gift exchange with all my old CDs. It's gonna be great. I'm just so jealous, okay? My dad went to Africa. I know that's really cool, right? Yeah, he went to Africa, and yeah, he's got this rich friend who took him. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about how he gives to charity too. Like, so his friend is going there to shoot an elephant. But they gave the $80,000 to a great charity. And it's okay, the elephant was on its deathbed. Totally fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so even though my dad went there to be with somebody who was going to shoot animals, the animals were still really excited about my dad. There's a mamba. You saw this mamba. It's like, I think I see Dale. Here comes Dale. And then there was a toby. They saw this toby. Dale's coming! And then there was a giraffe. I see Dale! Here he comes! Here comes Dale! Oh, I'm so jealous of that. Gosh. I went to Peru. That's cool, right? I got to see a lot of cool animals. Animals like me too. Yeah. I saw this sloth, and I saw like a caiman alligator, a crocodile or something. And then also there was a bunch of macaws I saw. And this one macaw came flying over to me, and it like sniffed me. I was like, "You're not Dale." So jealous. So jealous. I have this friend, my friend Ashley. She's 10 years younger than me. And I was really excited to tell her about my Cyndi Lauper albums, or CDs, but she was like more interested in my dictaphone, whatever. She was like, "Wait, tell me more about your dad." So I told her about how he does tango and speaks Spanish, and she's like, "What? I want to marry your dad so I can be your mom." Oh God, it's gonna be so weird. Having a mom that's 10 years younger than me. I can't tell my friends about my dad because they're all just going to become his groupies. So jealous. Jealous. I have to go to therapy about it. So I'm going to therapy. And I met my therapist, and I was like telling her about my dad, and she's like, "Wait, is your dad Dale Matthews?" She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh my God, I met him at a charity ball. He does tango, right? And he speaks Spanish. I'm almost caught up to him on Duolingo." And she was just talking about him and talking, and then suddenly she was like, "Oh, your time is up. Can you bring your dad next time?" My time is up, and everybody bring your dads next time. I'm not sure my dad's gonna be here, but if he does, it'll be awesome.
Andrea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea, you know, I just saw your dad signed up for class in January. I gave him half price. I love it. Love that guy. One more time for Andrea Matthews. I find that family dysfunction is high up on the comedy list. Actually, when I did come out to my mother, this is exactly what she said. She said, "Well, at least you're no Ted Bundy." Mass murder, gay son. She told me, "Well, don't go to therapy. They just blame the mother." And I went, Thanks for that. I do think it's important to for people to be who they are, and especially in the LGBTQ world, because history isn't often told on us. A lot of people in history were gay. John Maynard Keynes, who invented modern macroeconomics, was gay. Alan Turing, who invented the modern computer. George Santos, who invented everything. And then there are people that probably were gay in history, although we'll never know, right? Like, I'm thinking Marco Polo. I mean, think about it. Mid-13th century, Vandals have sacked Europe, Crusaders have sacked the Middle East. He's off looking for silks and spices. I mean, if you're a gay man in the year 1276, you just want a comfy caftan and a little nutmeg, you know? Take the edge off all the bloodshed, that's what I say. And I don't get gay Republicans at all. They called them log cabin Republicans. Now they're LGBTQAnon is what they are now. One more time for Andrea, I love it. Our final comic tonight, how many here see Jeff O'Malley? Are you? He just brings so many people. He's just, unbelievable. The fans this guy has. No, he's a funny guy, and I've said this, but I've got, 100, 200 students. No one wants to be a comic more than Jeff O'Malley. He's wanted it since he was, how old, Jeff?
6.
I wanted to be a full Jew. He's wanted to be a comedian since he was 6. Please give him a rousing, warm welcome, Jeff O'Malley. Always funny. Jeff O'Malley.
Thank you for that resounding intro, Carl. I appreciate that. Hey, classmates, pretty good, huh? Not bad, not bad. Give it up for Carl, thank you for that intro. You know that I'm a school teacher, Carl, and at night I'm a wannabe comic. How do I get less respect?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
That's how. Well, maybe I'll try to be a DJ or something. I mean, that'll be the next step, right?
No. You're well on your way, Jeff.
I appreciate you, Carl. In that case, it's kind of a rite of passage for comics to talk about their appearance, right? And let's get that started and get that out of the way real fast. Right around here, little Robert Downey Jr. maybe, huh? Okay. Yeah, you see that? There's some Iron Man in that goatee, huh? But take a closer look from right here to right about there. It's a lot of Elon Musk. Yeah. Who would have thought that the world's richest man and I could both afford the same haircut? Right? I'm reasonably sure with all his great wealth, he's going to great clips. Okay. And let me let you behind the curtain here a little bit, okay? He and I suffer from something what I call fat head, all right? And we're trying to mask it with this thin, tight fade on the side right here, okay? And I figured out, after taking some time to think about it, what the comparison is. It's kind of like putting skinny jeans on a sumo wrestler, okay? Right. I guess sometimes the cure is worse than the disease, right? And it's kind of funny how people like to kind of like compare others to like celebrities, you know? And I actually looked it up, why people do this. They actually want to establish a connection, or it's a compliment. I'd say, in my case, we can eliminate compliment, okay? He's pretty unattractive, isn't he? I'd say empirically unattractive, all right? And if you don't agree, I want to take you through a little thought exercise, all right? Imagine Elon Musk with no clothes, all right? And no money, okay? Oh, checkmate, right? Not bad, right? Yeah. Suddenly, all those billions kind of masked the skinny jeans by on the sumo wrestler, didn't it? Okay. What's kind of funny is, right, is that I do get this quite a bit, and not too long ago, a person was staring at me like long and hard, and I knew he was going to do it, almost like he actually thought I was Elon Musk. We were both in the dollar store, by the way, okay? And that is not a store for future trillionaires. That's a store for current teachers, is what that is. And he comes up to me and he says, those great words, "Do you know who you look like?" Right? And I say, "Iron Man." And he goes, "No," right? Iron Man didn't deserve that, right? And he goes, "Elon Musk," right? And then at that point, I thought about these interactions that I'm having. They are akin to a failed high five, all right? This person has something that they want to deliver to me. Elon Musk, right? And I have to receive this insult. But he's ugly, right? And he... So bad. And he moves in on me, right? Like, and I'm like this. I don't know. Right? And I have the exact same feeling at the end of these. I just hope I never see you again. Did I mention earlier that I was a school teacher? Yeah. Thank you. 28 years. 28 years, yes. Yes. I hear the love and feel the sympathy, okay? I just wish as a school teacher, you know, I just made like a little bit more money. Not a lot more, just a little more. So I could one day achieve my dream of becoming a good tipper, all right? Yeah. I mean, what it must be like just to be able to tip and let everybody see, you know? But instead, I live in the shadows, okay? I have to write it on the piece of paper. I fold it. And then I push it in and hope it's competitive, you know? Like a silent auction, all right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not a bad tipper. I'm more what I call a precise tipper, okay? Right? I try to give 20%, I really do. But no smile, 19%. I take a point off like an Olympic judge, okay? And don't get me started on those silly keypad options. We've seen those, right? 30, 25, 20%. Do you know how much it pains me to hit that extra button that says custom? Okay. Some precise tippers in here. I love it. I was gonna say 300 million tipping Americans and that button's just for me? I see the fingerprints. All right. And I just wish, and probably some of you in here did as well, that there was a fifth button that just said, you did a good job. Looks like that button would have some fingerprints on it too, huh? My friends and family are, they're kind of fans of my comedy, you know. They like that I make observational comedy, personal comedy, $5 comedy, okay? But last week I had a show that was $20. Yeah. And the jokes didn't get 4 times better, okay? You know why? Because quadrupling's hard, all right? I had a buddy walk up to the desk and he was like, $20? How much is it just for the punchlines, all right? Don't get me wrong though, you know, I mean, I want to get better. I'd like to one day quadruple my comedy, all right? Well, really, I'd settle for doubling. Actually, I just kind of want more friends. All right? My wife Connie and I have been married 20 years. Just celebrated 20 years. Earlier this month. Thank you, you know? And she's very supportive of my comedy. Very supportive. When it's free, okay? Oh, she's my com ticket every time, all right? And I concluded, and because she does not like price hikes, that she can do 20 years with me, but not $20 for me, all right? It's because if she's gonna pay for her comedy, she wants it from Netflix, okay? And after I started doing comedy, you know, I was like, started telling jokes around the house, and I was like, $16.99 a month? That's a pretty good deal, okay? Those comics are good, right? You could probably tip whatever they want, you know? People often say to me, you know, you don't look like an O'Malley. And that's because my Irish Catholic dad married a Japanese lady, okay? And all through my life, I never really felt like they understood each other, you know? No, literally, they didn't understand each other. My mom doesn't speak English, okay? It made for a very difficult upbringing and a lot of frustration, I'll be honest, you know? I mean, all during my childhood, there was like a lot of screaming and a lot of crying, all the way up until my parents told me to stop, okay? But what really helped though, you know, was I bought a journal, you know, and I started drawing in it, and it really helped when I picked that up last week, okay? They had some really nice ones at the dollar store, they really did. But equally as unhinged was my mom, you know? Right in front of the kids and stuff, when she was really upset, she would like threaten to kill herself and stuff like that. And earlier this year, when she turned 90, I learned that she's not going to kill herself. The window for that threat is kind of closed, all right? The threat is now that she's not going to die, all right? You know, but my parents, they were married 50 years, and they worked it out the old-fashioned way, by ignoring each other, okay? Who would have thought what would be cause for a divorce now is what kept the marriage going 50 years ago, okay? Right. Which made me kind of think, oh my God, in the 70s, 60s, 50s even, I would have loved to have been a marriage counselor, okay? It's like, okay, that's great. Well, oh, really? Have you guys started ignoring each other? Oh, fantastic. Wait, what? You guys don't speak the same language? Oh, you're fine, you're fine. You know, but they made it, you know? They worked it out. 50 years of marriage, nearly divorced 50 times, but they made it all the way to the very end. They worked it out, or as I like to call it, dying before you divorce, okay? Some older couples are looking at each other like, oh, he doesn't mean us, right? My dad, 10 years ago, died at 80, right before the papers came, okay? And now you can look at those papers for eternity. When I was growing up, you know, it wasn't ever easy, I'll be honest, being half white and half Asian, because there was always something the white kids and the Asian kids didn't like about me, right? Particularly like my white friends, you know, I'll be honest, I had never met a group of people so afraid of sushi, okay? Yeah, see, kids are slicker now, right? That's like their favorite meal. They can eat that left and right. But when I was a kid, they wouldn't touch the stuff. And in a sad moment, one of my good friends used to always come over to my house, and he would never eat food that my mom made for us, you know? I mean, one time my mom spent all afternoon making like this egg pancake, all right? And some green seaweed on top with a little side of pork. And to my friend Steve, that was green eggs and ham, okay? Yeah. Steve wouldn't try it, and I guess neither would Sam I am, right? And my Asian friend Mike, you know, always made me feel bad that he was so studious, you know, so I felt shamed. And he could never come out and play, you know. And in his spare time, he was so concerned with always raising his grade point average. Meanwhile, I was just busy being average, okay? And now he's studied and he works so hard. He's a tech executive in San Francisco, all right? Story kind of has a tragic ending. Mike actually worked so hard and studied so much, he now works for Facebook. I think I'd rather be me, you know? So growing up, you know, I always felt like a bad meal at a teriyaki restaurant, you know? Yeah. Where my Asian friends might think, this is an Asian, okay? And white people think, hey, not half bad. But, you know who's fans of mixed race couples? TV commercials. You ever seen those? I mean, it's pretty thinly veiled ploy, right? To try to increase market share amongst cultural groups. I see right through it, okay? The other day I was watching a sporting event and a TV commercial came on, and no joke, it was a white dad driving, a black mom navigating, and 2 Latino kids in the back, all right? Eating an ice cream, okay? Which made me kind of think to myself, I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong. I got a diverse family, I love diversity, but all in one Toyota, you know? But what's really creepy is, though, in the back of that very SUV, there's always a purebred dog. Something like a golden retriever or something, you know, that's thinking to himself, this is weird. My parents look exactly alike. All right, I need to go off script here a little bit because I spent some time working on my impersonations. Some of you guys know I like to do impersonations, all right? But a couple Tuesdays ago didn't go as planned, so I had worse than the results of the election, I had to throw away material, all right? All right. I'm gonna do some impersonations here for you, and let's hope you like them. Let's see. Let's go. They're just going to talk about how they sound like. We're going to go Mark Simpson, Mike Tyson, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Let's go with Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Let's go Bruce Lee, DJ Khaled, and Charles Barkley. All in a row. They're going to talk about how they sound. And if you don't know who any of these people are, this bit is going to really suck. Okay? Okay, here we go. My voice is kind of gravelly, and it goes up, and it goes down. It depends on how I sound. What about you, Mike? Now listen, my voice is just always high, but when you're the baddest man on the planet, and you're the heavyweight champ, who cares what you sound like, okay? Who cares? But when I get really angry, it gets high like this too. Right, Bill? Now, my voice is kind of southern, and it's kind of raspy. It's kind of really back here in the throat. I like throats. And then I just kind of say things like, why does a person do what they do? Because they can, right? Barack? My voice has like long pauses, and then when I want to make a point, I go a lot faster. Isn't that right, Donald? Now, I really don't say anything with my voice. I just kind of talk and say things that are amazing and move my hand around and just say things like, that's an amazing hand. I've never seen anything else like it. So amazing. Isn't that right, AOC? Now, I have like a really high voice, but I talk about these really deep concepts. And my eyes get really big like this. So when I say things like, you better be ready for what's coming, I end up sounding like the smartest 6-year-old around. Okay? Take it away, Bruce. I'll be impressed, first of all, if you know what a 70s kung fu artist sounds like, all right? But Bruce is very serious, very philosophical. He says things like, you better move like water, baby, because you need to use your body and your mind. Isn't that right, DJ Khaled? I don't even know who DJ Khaled is, okay? My son was like, this guy's like super famous, and I watched a few videos, you know, but he kind of just blurts things out like this, kind of like nonsensical stuff, and just says like, give me the Gatorade, and bring out another one. I want the Gatorade. Don't bring me the water. Isn't that right, Charles? Now, Charles, he kind of sounds very southern, like this, and he's thinking to himself, wait a minute, why is an Asian guy in Portland trying to sound like me? He don't sound like me. I'm the round mound of rebound, okay? I hope I sounded like those people, all right? Thank you for coming out. I appreciate you. I'm Jeff O'Malley, everybody.
Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen, he's getting better and better. The Jeff X. That is the best Charles Barkley impression ever. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Finally, the audience answered. It's unbelievable. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I would like all of the comics to come to stage now for a final bow. And you know, it's really, really not an easy thing to put yourself out there like this, to take a course like this and to want to get on stage in front of people and actually execute what you learn. I think they did a magnificent job. Please welcome Kathy Cravat. Kathy, come on up. Kathy Cravat. Pepper Higgins, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Pepper. Lexi Woodland. Lexi, come on up. Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen, Jethro Rosen. Stacy Melnick, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Matthews and her dad, Dale. And Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen. Take a bow, everyone. Super job. PortlandComedy.com if you want to sign up and be these stars. They're the stars of the future, and you can join them on stage as well. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know it's a rainy Sunday, and you guys made it to support the people you love. Thank you so much. Take care. Good night.